Welcome into Centre Court, thanks to Cobram Estate, Australia's most awarded extra virgin olive oil, grown, harvested and first cold pressed in northern Victoria. Centre Court is where we take a deeper look at the athletes, coaches and the voices who define netball in Australia. The conversation unfolds in 4 quarters, giving our guests room to share who they are away from netball, the highs and the lows of their career and the future they are building beyond the court. It is honest, it's reflective and it's the side of the game that you don't always get to see. Today's guest is someone who brings energy, honesty and a whole lot of personality. She's a star in her own right, but she's also navigated the expectations that come with having a superstar mum. She's a diamond, an SSN premiership player and one of the brightest talents in Australian netball. It is Hannah Mundy. Hannah, welcome into Centre Court.
Thanks for having me, Kels.
We start every episode thanks to Priceline Pharmacy, We Know Health and Beauty, and we ask a very simple question. What season of life is Hannah Mundy in at the moment?
Oh, I would probably say I'm in my youth season. I'm beginning. No, I think obviously netball, it's my 6th season, so probably comfortable in that area of my life, but still navigating, I guess, the outside life of Hannah and what that will bring. Yeah.
Let's talk about outside life of Hannah. So you've just purchased an apartment, 24 years of age and buying an apartment in Melbourne. That's a big move, but obviously one that you'd be very proud of. Yeah,
I didn't think I probably would ever be able to do that. I think Dad's a mortgage broker, so that definitely and it's helped me so much build my independence and build better relationships with my family. I think being away really forces you to grow those relationships and actually have some good time with them. And yeah, I think it's forced me to like clean and do things that I didn't have to do. And I actually think I'm turning into a type A person, even though I was late today. It's kind of forced me to be a bit more organised. Yeah.
I love it. So you think you're a type B?
I'm definitely a type B. But I'm like, I want to be more of a merge.
Which is so funny because I think as an athlete, there's so much you have to be organised with. You've got to, get to training on time, do your reviews, conversate with people and rock up to events. So you can't be too bad at being organised.
Yeah, I've had to be better. I think I'm never late for training anymore. There was one training session my first year. I slept through my alarm by 4 hours, missed calls from Mo McInnes, horrendous. So I think I have trauma from that. I'm always 3 alarms, I'll be there on time, but it takes the effort. It's not a natural kind of thing.
We love that. There's something about Hannah Mundy though, your presence on social media. I feel like you've got such a big fan base who love you and feel like they know you from how you present yourself online. But give us a little bit of an insight into Hannah Mundy day to day. What does a day in the life of you look like at the moment?
Yeah, I think I do try to be quite authentic online. So I think what you see is kind of what you get. Not too much. I think I'm still navigating, I guess, what my interests are and stuff like that. But yeah, I think moving out, I've forced myself to create that routine and I have a bit of a morning routine that I like to stick by at the moment and it just kind of starts my day off well and I think, at the moment training's pretty hectic. So that probably consumes a lot of my schedule and I also do a lot of coaching. I love coaching kids and kind of that is a really rewarding thing for me. So yeah, whether that's something I kind of do down the track as well. But yeah, I think being creative is something I love. So I'd love to, even do some painting and stuff like that, which is really rogue, but it kind of gets me into that flow state.
Love it.
Yeah, it's just something that takes me away from my phone. I've been trying to get off my phone.
Why, what's your screen time?
Really bad.
What, 8 hours?
Yeah, probably.
We do love the TikToks. I feel like everyone loves following along with your journey on TikTok and on Instagram. But you talk about finding your passions. Fits, clothing, being creative in that sense, and also interior design. I feel like the way that you've set up your apartment at the moment, is that something that you could lean into as well? And what has sort of built the passion of how you dress and how you show up?
Yeah, I think I feel like I probably think that no one cares, but I do love seeing other people's fits, and interior has been a big, I guess, interest of mine for a couple years. But yeah, fit checks are cool, and I think just being different. I think I was always scared of doing things out of the box early on, and now I'm just like, oh, who cares? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wear what you feel good in.
Yeah.
What makes a good fit check? Just asking for a friend.
A tune. It's got to be on time 2 speed, so it's not too awkward. Like you've got that. It's like a bit fast paced.
Yeah.
No one wants to you have to fast forward yourself.
Yep.
What else? You want to hold your foot up?
That's an important part.
Now everyone's gonna go look like, oh, she does the same thing every time.
It's great. It's a recipe for success. Let's talk about you growing up, though. Growing up with a mum who was involved in netball, we'll get into the deeper side of maybe the challenges of that. But what was your childhood like? You've got a brother. Was it fighting in the household or chaos? What was it like in your house?
Yeah, I think obviously I'm quite an extrovert now, I'd say, probably an introverted extrovert, but in my house, I was probably the quietest one. It was pretty hectic. I think Mum is pretty loud character. Jasper's like me times 100. So it was definitely fun growing up, and I guess the netball side of things, I had such a passion early on because of my family, and went to every Vixens game, had the Cape, probably watched you play, absolute die-hard fan, had Sherelle McMahon posters. So I think I was very lucky in that sense to be exposed to netball so young, and Mum was my coach, my school team's coach growing up, and that was probably too difficult for me. I feel like everyone who's had parents as coaches know that you kind of get the short straw and everything's your fault, even though I'm like, are you serious? Did you see that intercept I got, Mum? But no, it was good to build that resilience, and she definitely knew her stuff. So instilled some good basic skills into me and my friends growing up. Yeah.
So you talk about Sherelle McMahon posters on the walls, watching the Vixens players that obviously you would have grown up watching. How does it sit with you knowing that you're in and amongst it now? Sherelle McMahon is the GM of the club that you're a star at. Where does that sit for you?
Yeah, it's so surreal. I think even I was sitting watching the reserves game the other day next to Sherelle. I'm just like, this is so cool. What the heck? But I think it still hasn't sunk in, and I think I still see myself as almost a rookie in the club, and it's not until I reflect and think, oh, this is my 6th year, and it's so epic to kind of be in where I am now, and thinking back to myself as little Hannah, she'd be stoked, and I think she thought she was always gonna be there, but growing up you realise it's harder than just wanting it. But yeah, it's definitely a dream come true for sure.
We'll get into the belief that you have in yourself and your journey to get there. You're a premiership player, but it wasn't easy last year. We'll get to that in quarter 2, but let's talk about your huge personality. Now, I think when people say that, sometimes for people it can be a negative connotation. For you, it is just, it exudes positivity. You are your authentic self. You're a huge personality, but it's what we need in netball. How does it sit with you knowing that that's how you're viewed?
Yeah, I think I find it really hard to receive compliments. I don't know how to do it. I'm like, oh, thanks. No, I think I'm just myself. I think, yeah, some people can probably find it, I guess, overbearing, and I just like to kind of lean on those who, I care about, and not really caring about what other people think. I think that's been such a big change for me. I probably, kind of valued myself based off what other people thought back in the day, and I think now just living and doing things that make you feel good and being yourself unapologetically is probably where I stand, and it's just, it is refreshing just to be welcomed as yourself as well in an environment like the Vixens. You're able to be yourself, you don't have to be a mould that kind of everyone is like. So yeah, I think it's great to have that in sport for sure. 24
years of age and able to say, I've shifted into not caring about what other people think. That's a hard thing to do. I'm 34, 10 years older than you, and I think I'm still learning how to do that. What would you put it down to? What has been the shift? Has it been being accepted by the people in your close-knit circle, or is it something that you did? If you were to say something to a young girl out there, about, you know, showing up as yourself and being okay with that? What would you say?
Yeah, I still think there's bits where you do care about what other people think. But yeah, for me, I think I don't search for other people's validation anymore as well. I think working with a psych and things like that away from netball has really helped me just accept myself and kind of get validation from yourself internally rather than seeking others. And I think in a sport, it's so based off other people's opinions, what your coaches think, what your teammates think, which is great. But I think you need to be able to find that internal motivation and, yeah, that validation that you're doing okay. And, yeah, growing up, I think all I cared about was what other people thought, and I think that's all that mattered. But, yeah, now I know that I get my best self by just being me and, yeah, not caring what other people think, basically. It's really easier said than done.
No.
And I definitely still have, you know, times where you do care and you do, I guess, even social media is a very hard place for athletes, I guess. And sometimes you do stumble across things that are hard to take, and it's just about accepting the good and the bad, and that's okay. And you're on this, I guess, pedestal that allows you to be judged. So you just got to accept it, I guess.
I love when people say that, taking the good and the bad, because one of the best pieces of advice I got was you can't ride the highs or the lows too much. And I think as an athlete, you learn that throughout the career is, you know, someone's going to love you, someone's going to hate you, and you have to sit okay with yourself in the middle. So I love that you mentioned that, because I think it is a really key point. You've joked about things like knocking on Stacey's door when you've been away. How do you find the balance between being serious and sure of yourself on a netball court and really aligning with maybe what the Diamonds culture and the Vixens culture and their standards are, but then also being able to find the fun in things, because you seem to do that very well?
Yeah, I think crossing the line is something I've worked on, I guess, the last couple of years, and I like to think that I'm quite good at it. I think on-court Hannah is quite serious and, you know, out there to win. And, you know, one of my anchors is to smile and have fun. But I think, yeah, I'm not the idiot on court that I am off court. But, yeah, for me, off court, I think just being loose and, you know, within rights, but helps me get my best version out. And I think you don't see a lot behind what's off court, I guess, in environments like the Diamonds and Vixens, and there is a lot of fun, and I'm definitely not the only one. I think, you know, we bounce off each other and there's a lot of banter, and I think that's what makes a great team culture, that ability to know people off court and have fun and, yeah, I guess just not take life too seriously.
Last one to finish this segment then, this quarter one. Who's the other person that gets in trouble at Diamonds, or who's the other one that likes to have fun?
Oh, I mean, me and Lucy Austin are like thing one and thing two. But I'd say there's so many, like Sophie, Jamie, they all do it like secretly. And I'm just the one that's like, for show. It's like...
We love who you are though, so it's good to get to know a little bit of Hannah and what makes you tick. That's the end of quarter one. Now let's turn our attention to quarter two, where we dive headfirst into your netball journey, thanks to Cobram Estate, Australia's most awarded extra virgin olive oil grown, harvested and first cold pressed in Northern Victoria. Let's talk about pre-SSN, because you've mentioned Vixens fan growing up. Was it love at first sight for you when you played netball, or was it just something that you figured out very early that you were quite good at?
I wasn't very good, like, initially. I think Mum tells me the story that I went to some of her Net Set Go coaching sessions as, like, the extra, and I'd, like, run away from the ball. I think I loved netball, but I wasn't good real early. But I think being surrounded by it so early did really create that passion straight away, and I just wanted to be at the courts all day, fill in for as many teams as I could. And then, yeah, I remember, like, you'd go to school Monday and you'd do show and tell what you did in the weekend. And I'd be like, I went to the Vixens game and I saw them win, da, 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 da. Like, it genuinely was just the highlight of my week. So, yeah, I think it is what I wanted to do quite early. But yeah, little Hannah didn't realise it'd be quite hard, and the, you know, pathway is very competitive, so it doesn't just happen like that. yeah.
What about, we know your strengths as a player now. We know that you're strong and fast and fierce. Is that always how you played growing up and through the junior ranks? And were you always a wing attack centre, or did you start in a different position?
Yeah, I think I started everywhere, but initially I was goal defence, which is really random. Loved it though, because I loved enticing intercepts, like just standing there and like, you can't do that at SSN obviously, but that was...
They don't fall for it.
No, they don't. Like wave the flag. But I loved goal defence, and I trialled for my first, I was going to say SSN club, no, VNL club as a centre goal defence, which is really random. Yeah, mum was like, it's great, like means you can play wing defence as well. And I made it. So I made my first VNL team when I was 14 for Bundara Express. Which was unreal. Didn't know how I kind of got there, but that was probably my first taste of like, I guess, competitive netball and, you know, realising the big pond there is and how hard and I guess even relationships within a team are tricky, especially if you're fighting for court time and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I've definitely grown in my game and probably increased my speed and power. I think growing up I was tall, so I probably relied on that a bit and would park myself into the pocket and just hold. I'd probably still do that sometimes, but get told to not like pitch a tent, stuff like that.
Isn't that the same?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, so then I'd do too much. I'd be like, chill. But no, I think I've definitely grown as a player and probably become more of an attacking player, obviously, the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, and a superstar wing attack at that. But the 2019 Victorian Fury Premiership feels like it was a real launching pad for you. Do you feel like that was a turning point in the seriousness of your netball? And is that the area that you think excelled you into getting your first contract for the Vixens?
Yes and no. So 2019 was a great year to start. So I made that Victorian Fury team and probably didn't expect to make it again. And everything was going well. I was really positive, motivated, and then I got a stress reaction in my navicular bone in my foot, and I was out for, I guess, 3 months, but it was a bad 3 months. It was like during the season, came back halfway through, kind of came in for a couple games, wasn't like fully ready. Didn't feel great about netball, and then I was ready to park that year and kind of go again in 2020, and then COVID happened and I did nothing. Like Mum and I would go down to the courts and we'd go on Zoom with Kathy Fellows and we'd do like, for VIS, we'd do these like footwork patterns. I was like, oh, like netball sucks, I hate it. It's probably the first time I've felt like that and just didn't care about it. But then in 2020, when the SSN season started and we were watching like 2 games a week, 2 rounds a week, gave me something to do. Me and Mum would make a cheese platter every time there was a round. But I think seeing girls that I grew up playing against excel and play kind of ignited this fire in me that kind of made me believe in myself a little bit more. I was like, oh, maybe I can be there if they're there. And then I guess played out the year, didn't have many games to play, but then it got invited or picked as a training partner in 2021 for the Vixens. So yeah, not really sure how I got that opportunity. I probably went into a few Vixen sessions in 2020 as a number. And I guess Simone might have seen me a few times in match play and got that call up, and that was probably, the start of my, I guess, belief as well.
That's a crazy journey to getting your start at the Vixens. A navicular injury as well, for anyone who doesn't know, is very serious. So I'm sure there was a lot of conversations around that injury. Was there ever a time where you thought, oh gosh, like, am I ever going to play netball again? Because navicular can be career ending.
2019 when I found out I had a reaction, so we got it early. Steve Hawkins, who is still at the Vixens, was very stern with me and kind of said, like, this, if you continue, this could be it. And I was kind of forced to think long term, but for me, I was like, what is long term? Like, I haven't done enough to even believe that there is more, and I just wanted to play and just kind of prove myself now. And I think looking back, it's the best thing that I did, just rest and get that kind of better. And I think, I think looking after your body is so important. I still, have had ups and downs during the last couple of years, and rest has been the kind of answer to a lot. And I think it's just so important to listen to your body, for sure.
Yeah, it's something that we have to learn. I think when you're a young player, though, it's so hard to just say, oh, I've got to sit out of this one, because you're so worried that other people are going to take your opportunities away from you. And if you feel like you haven't put enough out there yet, how do I know what my future is going to look like? So that would have been so difficult. But I mean, we all know how it works out for you. You end up in 2021 Rookie of the Year in SSN, first season. Can you remember what that season was like? It was also a COVID year, pretty crazy one. The Vixens
weren't very good.
Were having a terrible run, which they hadn't had in a long time. So hard for you to come into that. You're obviously excelling in your own game, but the Vixens, the club that you've joined, is having a really rough year.
Yeah, I think I remember bits. I definitely probably have erased some for the good and the bad, but I think it was the best year for me to have. I think I'm very lucky that for my first year I was basically playing full games week in and week out, obviously due to Liz being out for the year, and it just forced me to kind of improve my game so quickly, and being chucked in the deep end was just the best experience for me. Obviously not winning was really challenging for, I guess, my younger self, and I think I probably thought it was all my fault, if I was honest. I think, Liz being out, the talk was like, oh, we need her back, and I thought, well, I'm in and we're like getting thumped, so it's obviously me. Obviously being away from family and friends was probably really tricky for me as well. I relied on mum quite a bit that year, just on the phone non-stop, kind of, I guess, getting that support from her, and I probably struggled to get that internal motivation and validation, I guess. That year I needed external things to kind of keep me going, and it was the first time I'd been out of home, didn't know how to do my own washing, didn't know how to cook. I had KD as a roomie, so we were both didn't know what to cook for dinner.
Yeah, love you, KD, but I can only imagine.
Yeah, but no, it was great. I think, looking back on it, I'm very grateful for it. But yeah, some things I don't remember because there were a couple really hard losses, I guess.
Yeah, were there tears? You talk about relying on your mum. Were there tears? And I can only imagine the weight of, Liz is out with the same injury that you've just returned from. So she had navicular stress. Mm-hmm. So that is a lot for a young player. What would you have been at the time, 20?
I think I was 19.
19 years of age, to feel the weight of a club who has been successful and feel like you're the issue. Not the case, but how did you work through that with the psych, and is that how you started seeing your psych regularly? Yeah,
I probably did have a lot of tears behind closed doors. I probably am someone that puts on a very strong front, which is probably to my detriment at times. I probably didn't reach out to the psych and kind of external sources that year. I didn't probably know what was there for me. I think it was just such a quick season, and just we're in the hub, we're away, it just kind of, and we're playing twice a week, it just kind of happened. So I think if I look back on that, it's probably something I could have done proactively, because it probably would have been really valuable. But I did have a few girls in the team that were young and I'd grown up with, Ali Smith, Ruby Barkmeyer, and we really leaned on each other that year. And I think without them, I would have really struggled. But yeah, I think if I think back to that, Hannah, she was, I guess, after every game, I'd watch every single minute, and I'd just rewatch all my mistakes, and I'd probably think this is all my fault and stuff like that. But now looking back on it, I'm it was definitely, I guess,
as a collective,
a combination of things. And I think, yeah, as I said before, very grateful to get that opportunity because not many can.
That's a tough start in SSN, but like I said, we know this story and how it goes, and you've been a formidable player for the Vixens for the time that you've been there. Let's talk about the premiership last year because, again, you're an SSN premiership player, but the journey last season to get to that point was also a difficult one. You were out with another foot injury, only returned the week of the grand final, didn't start the game, get injected into it in the third quarter. Talk us through the chaos of last year and everything that meant for you.
Yeah, I think I probably didn't think I'd be an SSN premiership player. I think when I did my foot last year in round 10, I definitely thought like season done and was told that as well. I think I was told there's like a 2% chance if we make the grand final. And at that point, we weren't even, like we were struggling to make finals. So I think my motivation was like 0 to begin with. And I think I had a lot of, I guess, frustration in those first couple weeks. And I found it really challenging to come into training and be myself. I felt like I had to be a fake version of myself, I think, because I pride myself on my energy and enthusiasm, and I just didn't have that. So to come in and try to fake it was just really exhausting, and I didn't, find the enjoyment out of netball for those couple weeks that I have my whole life, and I think that's very common with injuries, obviously. But yeah, it wasn't until I guess we were in the final series, and after we won against Adelaide, I was like to Steve, do you reckon I have a chance here? I'm up
and about now.
I know, and then I was on the socials, like, here we go. No, but the whole rehab process, I definitely put blood, sweat and tears into. Of
course you did.
It was just, I guess, the team morale element of it. I just didn't know how to inject myself into the environment for a couple of weeks, and felt like it was better for me to just take a step back. But yeah, after the finals wins, I was like, nah, I'm on here. Obviously, didn't want to take the opportunity away from, Tara Watson, who did so well in the Swifts game in our semi. So I was very aware that, I had to be 100% right to be available. But yeah, I had one training session before the grand final with the team. Felt like quite good. I was like, this is random. Okay, I can play netball still. And yeah, Simone just said, I want you in the team. And I think for me, that was so assuring. I think I had a lot of self-doubt in that, they've been doing so well without me. I didn't want to come in and ruin things. And I think hearing that from Simone gave me so much confidence and, belief that, I'm a contracted 10 player. I want to be in that 10. And I was so comfortable being the cheerleader on the day. And I think in the third quarter when Di came up, she walks past Lily. I'm like, oh, she's getting Maggie. Walks past Maggie. I go, oh my gosh. She sits next to me. She's like, you're going to go on. We just want that punch, that movement. I'm like, yep. I'm like looking up at Rod Laver, is this actually about to happen right now? I haven't played in 8 weeks. It was, such a pinch me moment. And yeah, standing in that subs box, I think I said before, I heard the crowd go really loud and I was like, what's happened on the court? I look up and I'm like, oh my God.
It's for me.
Yep. Sweet. And I think that third quarter, I thought I came on quite well, running off adrenaline, just kind of doing whatever I can with the energy that I was bottling up. And I think it wasn't until the third three-quarter time, sitting there, I was barely hearing what anyone was saying. I think I'd finally woken up and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the last quarter of the grand final. I could lose this for them. But I obviously, being around the teammates we had, I felt very confident, but it was a moment of, oh, far out, this is the real deal. And then that fourth quarter probably felt a little bit hesitant and just wanted that 15 minutes to kind of, here we go. And then we were playing it around. That feeling was just unreal. And I think that moment is just could not be compared to anything else.
Yeah, and it's such a hard journey to get there. 8 weeks without netball, and then you're thrust into the biggest moments of a game, third and fourth quarter of a grand final. But it speaks to the poise that you have on court and the ability, and also huge from Simone McInnes to come to you and say, "We want you." That must be such an amazing feeling. I do have a question though. How was the pub?
The many pubs.
How many pubs?
God, who knows? That week was just, epic.
Just a blur. I love the whole narrative that happened with the Vixens that year and the fact that you guys leaned into it. I feel like it wasn't very Vixens to lean into the pub narrative, but you guys did it, and I'm glad to hear it was so amazing. But let's finish your netball journey and the chat, because it's still ongoing. But let's talk about the diamonds. You became a diamond in 2025. What number are you?
Oh my gosh,
You should know this.
Yeah,
Is it not in your Insta bio?
No. 195. Because I was like, imagine I was 5 more and I was 200 now.
That'd be nice. 195, we'll take it. We'll take it.
195.
Do you remember your debut game?
Can you fact check that?
This is the most type B.
It's not in my Instagram bio yet. I need to do that.
Okay. It is 195. We've just fact checked. But do you remember your debut game? Do you remember how exciting it was to step out there? I feel like it was a long time coming for you, having had the success at Vixens and then stepping into the Diamonds environment.
Yeah, I remember the feeling of the game. I don't remember what I did on there. I think, I couldn't tell you how I played, but I just remember being very excited. I think we were 20 goals up, so there wasn't really that, pressure. Sometimes it is harder to go on in a game like that, but I think for me, I was just like, just enjoy it, have fun. I think the moments before the game as well, getting my dress presented by Mum was really special, and I think it's the first time we've kind of shared like a bit of an emotional connection. It's like, wow, this is weird. But that was really special for her to be there as well. I think they surprised me with her to present my dress. So, and sharing it with a few others as well was really special. And I wouldn't say it was a long time coming. I think I've been in the environment a couple years and have just loved learning. I think it's so cliche, but learning off the older, more experienced girls. And the mid-court especially is so competitive, and I think that's very known. And I think for me, just reminding myself of that and just kind of doing what I can to inject myself in that environment and bringing what I can. The game itself was really, really fun.
What surprised you the most about life as a diamond? The culture, the sisters in arms. Where is it sitting for you? And can you give us some insight into what it's like at the moment?
Yeah, the environment is such a welcoming environment. I think initially going in, I was so nervous. I think especially coming in and kind of meeting girls that you watch and you verse and you have these perceptions of that aren't sometimes what you get. And I think the biggest thing was just how close everyone is. Tour life is really fun. I think you're in each other's pockets 24/7, and it's being able to switch on and switch off. I think that's really important. But the Sisters in Arm culture is really strong, and we refer to it quite a bit during the kind of camps and tournaments and stuff like that. So it is something that is really present and really strong for sure.
Okay, lastly, on the Diamonds, It's a big year. We've got Commonwealth Games year coming up. We've got selections coming up. Where are you sitting with that at the moment? How does that feel for you? And obviously it's something that you would love to achieve, but where is Hannah Mundy in terms of diamonds at the front of your mind?
Yeah, I think it's obviously every netballer's dream to go to the Commonwealth Games. For me, it's definitely not something I've been, focusing on or thinking on during the season. I think it's really important to focus on Vixens and what's in front of you. Touching on, the mid-court and how strong it is. I think it's no, secret that there are some very strong, experienced players that are playing so well at the moment, and I think it would be very tough to break in. Obviously, it is a big motivation to keep kind of performing and being consistent and playing well. And, potentially if there does kind of have an opportunity come about, it could be there, but I think for me, not focusing on it and kind of just having other things that give you joy, and if that doesn't happen, it's okay. I think, yeah, it's just keeping that front of mind and thinking future and thinking, what can I do right now rather than focusing on that kind of stuff for sure.
I have to ask you too, because there's a lot of people that don't know that this is what happens, but you get given a call time and you get given a call by Stacey Marinkovic, and I bet you're reading into how she's picking up the phone and talking to you in the first couple of seconds. How do you feel when those phone calls come?
Yeah, for sure. I think I haven't had a phone call for a team like this. I think we've had a few for like squads and stuff. They're always so daunting. They're just so, I think because you can't kind of read the expressions either. Yeah. It's just like, sometimes I've really struggled to pick up. Like, should I do it?
Miss this one.
Yeah, I'll call back. But yeah, they're obviously very daunting, and it's such a hard, I think, thing to do for Stacey. I think it would be one of the toughest parts of her job. So I think there is no right way, but I think this is the best thing we've kind of got at the moment. So yeah, it's just waiting for that time, and then I guess reading what others around you have kind of received. But yeah, I think it comes with sport. I think it's just the nature of a competitive sport. You got to, have those downs to then, potentially have the ups.
Well, in quarter 4, we get to what your legacy is going to be. So I can't wait to hear what you have to say about that, and all the best for the phone calls and the rest of the Vixen season. That is your netball journey to date. There is so much more of this to come. Hannah Mundy. Before we get a little bit deeper, let's add some sugar thanks to Strutties. Gear up this season with Strutties. Shop with Strutties because they're your buddies. Strutties.com.au. Okay, quick fire, Hannah Mundy. I feel like you'll be good at this one. I'm
really not. I'm too indecisive.
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard. One player, past or present, you'd love to play with?
Well, I think I'd say my mum, just because that would be funny.
No, that would be.
Actually, we've already played together. We played together back in the day. This isn't quick fire. This is
Who was centre? Who was centre? Who was wing attack?
She was centre. I was wing attack. She'd go the centre pass, and she'd trot down to circle edge, and then I'd pass it to her to feed it.
No, that's a great answer. You can keep that one.
Yeah, okay.
Most underrated teammate you've ever had?
I'm going to copy Mannix and say Kate Eddy.
Kate, really?
Yeah.
In the last couple of weeks,
I know she's rated, yeah. I've really struggled with this question because I think all my teammates are rated.
You're like, I rate them all, so they are. Do you have a favourite court to play on?
I'm going to say Rod Laver's the best court that I've played on, but I do love John Cain. Away, though, I love playing in Perth.
Yeah, RAC is a pretty special one, isn't it?
The surface is... really gets the cod, don't you reckon?
It's not the fans, it's the court. I've never heard someone talk about the floorboards. That's so funny. Best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I think probably just echoing before being yourself. Be yourself, everyone else is taken.
Yeah, it's a good saying. It's a common phrase for a reason.
Yeah.
If you weren't a netballer, what would you be?
I always say a TikToker.
Well, you are.
Yeah, I already am. I'm a dual. Yeah, I think I'd love to work in a marketing kind of environment.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, PR vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We might see you there. I might hire you.
Yeah.
Do you have superstitions or rituals before a game? Are you superstitious?
Not really. I usually have a song of the week that I'll pump all week.
What's this week's?
Rock the Casbah.
Right.
Yeah, but with the reggae version.
Oh, okay. Go on.
Come on, everybody. That one. Do you know what it's on TikTok at the moment?
Okay, I'll find it. I'll find it. Maybe after this we'll do a little TikTok to Rock the Casbah. Favourite moment of your career so far?
I'd probably say last year's grand final. Yep.
And if you could relive one game, which one would it be and why?
I'm going to be boring again and say last year's grand final. Just the moment, not actually playing, because I don't want to go through that nervous wreck again, but I think really soaking in the environment. I think I probably didn't do that as much. You're probably just focusing, which is probably what you want to do as an athlete, focusing on the game and not thinking too much about external. But yeah, I think if I was to sit on the bench and just have a look around and just, yeah.
Do you value that premiership more now, like almost a year on? I feel like in the moment it's chaos, but a year on you go, wow, that was actually really cool.
Yeah, I think so. I think there were so many storylines, and I think everything kind of just fell into place for us. And yeah, I think reflecting on it for years, I think, that team will be so special.
Now we have had our sugar, let's get into the more personal conversations. There's a couple that I want to touch on with you, some challenges that you've had in your life. And we've mentioned your mum a fair few times throughout this. You are a star in your own right. That's what we said off the top. But there has been comparisons, expectations, everything thrust on you in the early parts of your career. Have you found it challenging to have a superstar mum at times and have those comparisons?
Yeah, growing up, I loved it initially. I think I, saw it as a kind of reason for me to love netball, and I think all my friends loved it, and yeah, I got I got to be in good seats at the netball.
Got the perks.
Yeah, got the perks. So I was very lucky in that sense, but I think probably in that mid, years of years 7, 8, 9, probably all of high school, probably found it a little bit tricky. I think I started to probably think I was getting opportunities because of who she was. I think having a different last name helped me. So not a lot of people, I guess, resonated me with her in those early years, and she definitely wasn't really around the courts. She was probably, in the back, which I loved. I probably struggled to find my identity a little bit growing up in that, state team kind of time, and didn't understand why I would make teams. I didn't kind of see myself as being good. I think I knew I could play, but I didn't know what made me different to others, and I would tend to compare myself to other people like no tomorrow. It would be, to my detriment for sure. I would think she's faster, she has better vision than me, she's more creative. Like, I think, I probably had a little bit of a point where I didn't love netball and struggled a little bit, and probably even went away from speaking about netball with mum. I think growing up that was our connection point, and especially the car rides home. They were grouse. But yeah, it does become tricky when your whole life is netball and you don't have that outlet. So there were probably periods of my life where I didn't rely on netball to bring me that joy. It was other things. And I think if you fast forward to now, I've created such a good relationship with mum in terms of netball. It's not our relationship. I think I have the coaches that I have, and I don't rely on, her opinion. Obviously, she has a good read of the game. She's a mid-quarter. And, there are times where she's really valuable for me, but it isn't the base of our kind of relationship anymore. And, I think I've found, the confidence within myself to separate myself from her. And people say we play similar, which I don't really understand. She's so small.
You do.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I grew up watching your mum and I can see the resemblance, but you do it in your own way.
Yeah, I would love to be able to play like her. I think when I watch her, I think she was so zippy and, was very creative. So I think it's very much a compliment. But yeah, I think being secure in myself and knowing that, I'm here because of what I've done, not because I got the easy way because of mum. And I think really being confident in that now has created a difference for me mentally, and just, being able to allow me to just go out and play and know my strengths and not relying on that. Yeah.
You mentioned there were moments where you sort of pulled away from talking to your mum about netball. Were there ever any blow-ups, or was there tension? How did she go with her daughter, who she had such a strong bond with, pulling away and not loving netball anymore?
Yeah, I think it probably was a really challenging time in netball, I guess. I think, she probably struggled with watching me not really loving it anymore. And yeah, I think there were, I guess, a few blow-ups. I think it's very common for parents and, I guess, kids to have those chats, especially after games and stuff. And I'm pretty sure I would have said a couple times, "Oh, I'm just going to quit." So do it. I'm like, okay.
I didn't mean it.
Yeah. But I think as much as netball was such a good connection point for us growing up, it wasn't, I guess, everything. I think she is my, number one fan still to this day, and probably lives vicariously through me. And I think, if I wasn't enjoying it, it's probably her trying to figure out, okay, well, what can I do that's not too imposing, but trying to, give me that confidence. And I think it's, girls going through year 9, 10, 11, you got so many changes in your body. And I just remember just not feeling great and, not feeling fit or something like that. And I think just finding those other bits in your life and not basing your worth on netball as well. I think that's probably what I did do growing up heaps. And just having that separation point was probably really tricky. Yeah.
The expectations from other people put on you, did she ever put any on you?
No, like maybe perceived, but I never felt like I had to perform for Mum. I think I wanted to make her proud, but there was never, I'm not going to feed you if you don't play well. But yeah, I think I probably felt expectations from other people, even, other family members. I think growing up, choosing that sport, you're stuck in a point of like, oh, you better be good because your mum was pretty good. So I think I always wanted to play really well, maybe for others more than me sometimes. And yeah, even, coaches and stuff like that, I probably thought there was pressure, but I think in hindsight, you think so much about what other people think, but they're probably not thinking about that.
Yeah, they're not thinking about you.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely was never felt, pressure to perform. It was probably a want to make, others proud. Yeah.
Just a quick one, very quickly. Can you run through the superstar athletes in your family? Because there's plenty. I just want name what they did. Go.
I'm gonna fact check wrong. Okay, Mum played netball for Australia. My auntie Wendy, she played for the Melbourne Kestrels and she played under 21s for Australia. Was better than Mum growing up, apparently.
Oh, love that.
Yeah.
On your wins?
Yep. Her partner Damien Fleming is an ex-cricketer, commentates now. Mum's brother Gary O'Donnell played for Essendon. My grandpa Graham played for the Kangas in Geelong.
Yep.
Mum's cousin played for basketball for Australia.
Yep.
Apparently.
What's his name?
No, she? Michelle.
Yep, Michelle.
Yep. And I think I've got some other family trees to Geelong, the Rankins.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
So a lot of AFL players, VFL
my cousin,
players.
my cousin Jazz, she plays AFLW. I can't forget that.
There you go, sporting family. So
Yeah.
always going to be expectations and pressure sitting in there, but it seems like internally in the family, the pressure was more from outside than it was inside. So you've talked about family members, but let's talk about your grandpa. You lost him a few years ago to MND. It's a cause very special to you. Big supporter of the Big Freeze, and you guys often play around the same period of time that Big Freeze and the Fight MND round is on. Tell us about why it's such a big and important cause for you.
Yeah, so important for my family. Grandpa passed away a couple of years ago. It was quite quick. I think we found out, a year or so before he passed that he was struggling with, diagnosed with MND, and it is such a cruel disease. I think you do see them really, I guess, plateau quite quickly, and we really cherished that last year with him, visit him quite a bit. And for my grandma, she obviously went in every day, did his washing, and absolutely just felt it to her core quite, aggressively. And I think the cause is so important to raise awareness. The game every year just is really special to me. We usually get a whole crew in of my family down in Geelong come to the game or wear their beanies. And I just remember the year after Grandpa passed, the game was so special. My grandma, who never came to games, came, which was a big thing, and all of her family came, and I think it was just so special for them to feel, I guess, a special connection to the game I love, and then to have that kind of, be the round and raise awareness for such a special cause was really special. The
year after your grandpa passed away, it was your birthday, the same day that the game was played. How did that sit with you? Is it a surreal experience, and is it hard to show up and play in games like that? Yeah, I just remember feeling so, I guess, overwhelmed a little bit. I think it was just everything kind of fell into place, and I think I probably didn't struggle to show up and play. I think it kind of gave me that extra oomph to want to go out there and play for him, and I knew that he was my biggest supporter. I'm pretty sure one of his last words to me was, "You're better than your mother," which I think I might get tattooed on me, to be fair. Just a big one on the arm. Yeah. I knew that he would be, watching. There's always that extra bit of motivation, I feel. I feel like people know you as this bubbly, vibrant person on social media, but there is a depth to you that you probably don't show just because it's not something that comes comfortably to you. But there's so much in here that you've had to deal with: injuries, the pressure of being Shelley O'Donnell's daughter, your grandpa. So there is so much to you, Hannah, and it's a pleasure to sit down and actually get into the harder parts of what have got you to where you are, because I think sometimes people can view you as someone who came in and just made it, but it hasn't been an easy journey. So it's a credit to you to be where you are now. Oh, thank you. Hannah, we're coming to the end of the podcast now, and this is the part we love. It's the legacy quarter 4, and this one is thanks to HCF. It's a chance for us to reflect, to look back, and to also look forward at the legacy that you might be leaving in netball and in your life. We start this quarter by asking a very simple question: what is your HCF moment that matters? This could be something that changed the trajectory of your life, positive or negative. Yeah, I think looking back probably to 2020 when those SSN games were broadcast, and there were quite a few in the week. I think if they hadn't have happened and I hadn't, waited my whole week to watch them, I probably wouldn't have got that motivation to really take that step forward in my netball career and look at the girls that I played against, and kind of got that belief that I could do it. Probably that moment. Who were the girls that were playing at the time that you can reflect on and say, oh, they're there, I should be there too? Yeah, I think the likes of Macy Gardner, I think Georgie Horges, Taylor Williams. They're probably 3 that I can remember. There were probably heaps more, but they were kind of my age, and I think I watched them and they were like unreal players growing up. But I think playing against them gave me that element of, I've actually played against you, so potentially I could, be out there. Yeah, it gives you that burning desire that if they can do it, why can't I? Yeah. Looking back across your journey so far, and you said it's been 6 years, which isn't a short amount of time, but you're also still very young, just 24. What are you most proud of in your netball career? I think I'm probably most proud of my development through the years. I think I probably started off and based my worth off my performances, and probably the first 3 years it was all I was. And I think now I've created a really good ability to separate myself from netball Hannah. I think that's something that I am really proud of, and I try to stay off, the social media element of sport. I think it can be very toxic sometimes, and for me, just being really confident in my game and secure in what I can put out there, I think that's something I'm really proud of. Obviously, the grand final last year and those kind of things are really important, and I cherish them. But I think, that I guess growth in that area for me. I've heard from Kira Austin that she mutes netball accounts. I used to do that in my career as well. Are you the same?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like a game changer.
It does.
It gives you a different perspective on netball, and you don't create opinions based off other people. You actually can watch and, you know, make your own opinion, which I think is so fun. And, you know.
Do you mute the Vixens?
I have.
That's okay.
But then I haven't now, because that's a bit like cruel.
You've done it before, but we all have. We've all been there. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice from what you know and everything you've learned over your 24 years, what would it be?
I think I've probably touched on it, but just the, you know, comparison is a thief for joy. Is that what it is?
That is.
Yeah, I think I wasn't probably a very confident kid growing up, quite shy, because I thought that everyone was probably judging me or, you know, comparing me. I compared myself to others. So I think, yeah, that would probably be my biggest advice. Yeah.
And if you are looking forward, and we're talking about Hannah Mundy in 10 years' time, you'll be 34. What legacy do you hope to have left on netball in Australia, but also on these young kids who social media is such a big part of what you do and your personal brand? What is the legacy you hope to have left? What do you hope that, you know, I hope I'm still on commentary, I'm saying about Hannah Mundy?
Yeah, I think my game has so much growth. I think I really want to knuckle down and reach, I guess, my potential in that kind of scheme of things. And yeah, I think from my legacy point of view, I would love to just be known as, you know, a good player, but a good person as well. I think making a mark on the game would be very, I guess, special to me, and having an influence on so many young girls and boys now is so special. I think I still pinch myself and have imposter syndrome that I'm able to do that. I think, recognising that and knowing that I have such an important role to play, and yeah, I would love to be a good role model and influence for those young kids out there. So yeah, I think it's just really special for me to, kind of focus on the outside of netball element, and you know, it is really important what you put on the court. And for me, I've got so many, you know, areas for improvement that I'm so excited to get into. But I think you don't get anywhere with just being a good athlete. You got to be everything else as well.
Hannah, it's been really nice to sit down and get to know a little bit of a different side to you. There's so much to you and what makes Hannah Hannah, and you've gone through some challenges, you've gone through some really difficult injuries, and you've got the rest of this season to make your mark and continue to keep doing it. So I can't wait to see you keep writing your story, and who knows, it could be 3 Com Games, 3 World Cups, who knows, 10 premierships, Olympics.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't even talk about any of that success.
Yeah, but that's good. You're focused on being the good person first and foremost. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us here at Centre Court.
Thanks, Carlos.
No worries. This has been Centre Court thanks to Cobram Estate, Australia's most awarded extra virgin olive oil, grown, harvested and first cold pressed in Northern Victoria.